Welcome to my Google Earth hazard field trip. We have 3 stops planned for our trip today. The first will be in Oklahoma. We'll talk about tornadoes as their natural hazard. Our next stop will be in Malaysia. We'll talk about rainfall as their natural hazard. And our last stop will be in Italy, where the natural hazard there is earthquakes. First, let's swing over to Tornado Alley in the Midwestern United States. On the screen are the instructions for what to do during a tornado, safest places to be and what to do in those locations. I'll leave that up for just a moment so you can read through it. Pause if you need more time. Now, Tornado Alley is responsible for about 1,000 tornadoes a year, with about 551 deaths resulting as a result of those tornadoes. Swing a bit closer to our actual stop, which is in Oklahoma, one of the most active areas in Tornado Alley. An average of 52 tornadoes per year. Oklahoma once had 148 tornadoes within a 24-hour period. This is one of the most active areas in Tornado Alley. We'll swing it a bit closer to give you a look at the terrain in the area to Bridge Creek, Oklahoma. I picked this location because it has one of the highest recorded wind speeds, 302 miles an hour. Those winds are strong enough to rip homes off the foundation and trees out of the ground. Let's swing around a bit so that you can get an idea of what the terrain here looks like. So as you pan out, you can see this is a pretty desolate area. There are homes and some businesses there, but there's not very much infrastructure. And that's largely in part due to the amount of tornadoes in this area. Our next stop is going to be in Malaysia, in the South China Sea. Malaysia's hazard is rainfall. One of the main causes of that rainfall is typhoons, along with tropical storms and cyclones. But typhoons specifically have put up the instructions on what to do before, during, and after a typhoon. I'll leave that up for a moment so you can read through. Scroll down a bit so you can see the entire list. Now we're going to go to our actual stop here, which is Kuching, Sarawak, Malaysia. This is the wettest place in the world. On average, it rains 279 days out of the year. It's roughly 75 to 76% of your time. This area is highly prone to tropical storms, typhoons, and cyclones. Now, as you can tell, this area is lush, beautiful green, even with a massive city center there. That's due largely in part to the amount of rain that this area experiences. I'm going to zoom in a bit so you can get an idea of what the terrain looks like here. See plenty of rivers, lakes, and other collections of water there. Spin around so you can get an idea of what that looks like. Again, this is one of the wettest places, the wettest place on Earth in terms of rainfall. Our next stop is going to be in Italy. The hazard here is much different than our last 2 hazards. The hazard here is earthquakes. Instructions for what to do during an earthquake, depending on where you're at, are on the screen currently. Take a moment and read through those. Again, pause if you need more time. We're going to swing into our actual stop here, which is the Apennine Mountains. Now, the Apennine Mountains are the location of most of the seismic activity in this area. That's due to the Eurasian and African tectonic plates meeting under these mountains. That causes huge amounts of seismic activity, enough to in fact create the mountains that we're currently looking at. I'm going to zoom in a bit here so you can see what this region looks like. Again, not hugely populated area due to the terrain created by the seismic activity, and I'm sure the seismic activity itself. Alright, that's it for my Google Earth hazard field trip. Thank you so much for watching.